All right. Today we are going to learn about another of the inventions that made history. And we're going to talk about paper. And our chapter is about ancient Egypt and paper. So let's learn a little more about it. Okay, here we go. Paper, helping people make their mark. When it first appeared around 2,000 years ago, paper made writing and reading easier than ever before. All right, Chinese paper. Before paper was invented, people struggled with heavy books made of bamboo or spent a fortune on expensive silk. Legend has it Chinese politician Zai Lun revealed his papermaking technique to emperor in 105 CE, but even older paper from around 100 BCE has been discovered. It took 100 years for the secrets of papermaking to spread to other parts of Asia and North Africa, and more than 1,000 years for it to reach Europe. The writing stuff. The very first written words were scratched onto clay slabs in ancient Mesopotamia, which is modern-day Iraq, more than 5,000 years ago. Later, people wrote on silk, bone, and bamboo in China, animal skin in Europe, and papyrus in Egypt. That's what we're going to learn about. The Aztecs and Mayans in South and Central America wrote on a piece of paper made from the bark of the almond tree. All right, it paved the way for, invented around 1450 in Germany, the printing press eventually made books available to everyone. And then the first paper money was used in China in the 800s, but didn't reach Europe until the 1600s. That's a long time. So by the way, my special paper making recipe included tree bark, fibers from the bamboo plant, some silk rags I had lying around, and even old fishing nets. So this is Tao Lun and was the court official during the Han Dynasty. So plant fibers are cooked with lye, a cleaning agent, before being rinsed and beaten into a pulp. The pulp is spread over a wooden screen resembling a flat square sieve. The pulp is pressed to squeeze the water out and leave a sheet of paper. And then the paper is fully dried by hanging it up on a wall. Okay, how it changed the world. Sorry. Okay. Paper made information, stories, and ideas storable on a light, strong, cheap, and space-saving surface. Without it, the printing press would never have made books and reading so popular. So here we're going to talk about making paper. The paper making process hasn't changed much since Zhao Lun's time. Plant or textile fibers are still mashed up into a pulp, which is then sieved to create a wet sheet and then pressed to dry it. The main difference is that machines do it for us these days. The first paper-making machine was invented in 1798. Also, in the 19th century, paper began to be made from wood pulp, which made it cheap enough to get almost everyone scribbling. Hey, did you know Tao Lun's discovery made him very famous and wealthy in China and helped spread Chinese culture for far and wide? So tea bags here. First went on sale in 1903 At first, they were made from silk, but now they're made from paper. And then paper tissues were made available in the 1920s and gradually replaced cloth handkerchiefs. All right, thanks for listening. Now we're going to do chapter 2. All right, now it's time to take out your Ancient Egypt and paper communication board. It's in your black binder that you received from me at student pickup. So please take that out and have it ready. So pause the video and grab that. Chapter 2, Ancient Egypt and Paper. The class goes to the next display. There is a rolled up piece of paper. It looks very old and dirty. It is a scroll from ancient Egypt. All right, go ahead and pause here and use your communication board. Ancient Egypt was along the Nile River in Africa. So here's a little picture here to show it to you. The people used water from the river. They used it for drinking and bathing, as we do for water still today. Pull this up one more time. All right, please pause here and use your communication board. The Nile River flooded every year. The floods were good for the soil. It helped plants grow. Pause here and use your communication board. One plant was used to make paper. They used it to write on. Before this plant, people wrote on stones. They carved symbols with tools into the stone. All right, go ahead and pause here and use your communication board. People cut the paper stem into strips. They put the strips together. The strips made a sheet when they dried. They put the sheets together to make a scroll. So see in these pictures, they took the plant, cut it into pieces, and then put the pieces together and made a scroll and wrote on it. All right, go ahead and pause here and use your communication board. People made pens out of stalks of plants. They dipped the pens into ink. They wrote on the scroll with the pens. It was easier this way. All right, pause here and use your communication board. Early paper was good for Egypt. Archaeologists can now read the scrolls. They can learn about life in ancient Egypt. Isn't that cool? So lots of writing with symbols and pictures. Pause here and use your communication board. We use paper today. We use it to read books and write letters. So look, here's a newspaper, paper we write on in school, our spelling pages, and books. All right, pause here and use your communication board. All right, that's the end of our chapter. You can use this communication board as well when you go online to News2You. So I'm going to show you what that looks like on your side. All right, once you log on to your student's login, I have released all of the lessons that you need for this week. So you have probably done the leveled book and reading comprehension from Monday. This was Tuesday's chapter 1 that we read about, and that was the wheel, Mesopotamia and the wheel, and this is Egypt and paper is chapter 2. So make sure you click on that and do the activity there. All right, and then on Epic, I want you to read this book called Paper. It tells you more about paper and how we use it. Thanks so much for listening.